to infinity and beyond.
I'm Roger and James here, founder of DisKingdom podcast. In this episode, we're going to be sharing our thoughts on Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2. We did a video last week where we kind of did a review in progress because I'd only had it like a day or two. So I've been playing it all week. I'm going to give our full thoughts. There's also a full written review over at DisKingdom.com as well. So first off, James, what's your sort of thoughts on Lego Marvel Super Heroes 2?
I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Mostly done with the campaign, but I can already see there's going to be a lot of retail value. We knew that going in, though.
Yeah.
It's a Lego game. It's a very polished version of the Lego games. Obviously, they've been making things better and better.
Yeah.
That said, the more I've been playing it, some of the smaller annoyances have really been getting to be slightly bigger annoyances, but we'll come back to that.
Yeah.
Overall,
playing?
good.
What format are you playing on?
I'm on the PC.
Ah, right. Well, then that's why.
I'm on the
You're
PC. Yeah. PC inferior race. But I am playing with an Xbox controller because I can't use the keyboard controls. They're terrible in this game.
No, I'm on PlayStation 4, and I'll be honest. Touch words. There's been none of these Lego technical issues that I normally would have, anything like that. So I haven't noticed. Yeah, I can't really think of anything really too bad. The only thing that was really, I remember getting very, very frustrated was there was a particular mission where I was in a castle and I had to do something with Doctor Strange with this yellow and green witch and trying to hit her in the head, and she kept disappearing she was over a door. 30 minutes. I ended up having to stop it and come back to it another night. I was watching a video on how to, and I could not get whatever the trigger point was. I just could not hit, and that's my only thing of I'm like going, this is supposed to be a game for kids, and I can't finish some of these quests because I just don't know what I'm sure when some people are playing through, and I'm sure probably Disney Dan, I'm sure he's probably got Lego eyes where he sees everything, whereas I'm just banging my head against the brick wall going, what am I supposed to be doing?
And I actually found in a lot of cases the game was pretty good at guiding you to where you needed to go. Like the thing that you need to break glows a little bit, or if you get near a trigger point, it'll be like, you need a character who can do this, or maybe you should try switching over to She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Wink, 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 wink. But yeah, there've definitely been a couple of times when I'm just like, what am I supposed to do here? Actually, when I played the demo back in D23, they fixed it since then, but you play that very first mission where you're with the Guardians of the Galaxy and you land on the planet and you fight the giant Celestial. There were parts in that demo I was like, what is it you expect me to do? Because there's so much going on the screen. There's no clear marks, but thankfully they must have gotten a lot of feedback on that, because this version of it, the fully released version, was a lot cleaner. It was a lot easier to figure out what you were supposed to do. So I think they must have gone back and done a lot of play testing on this.
Yeah. And just as a general, I've easily sunk 15, 16 hours into this game over the week. And it's that kind of thing of going, I've spent some time running around in the open zones and stuff like this and having a bit of fun with it and kind of working my way through them. I mean, I think as of last night, I'm pretty much within I think the last two missions, because that campaign it's a real meaty campaign. It's not I don't think it's a quick, fast run through.
No, and it's deceptive too, because we were talking about right before the podcast. It starts out, okay, linear. All right, okay, you can choose which mission you want to do first, but you have to do both these missions. And then as you get closer to the end, it's like, all right, we're going to split you off into 3 teams, and then each of those teams has multiple mission paths. And okay, this one starring the Guardians of the Galaxy, well, now we're going to go follow the Inhumans for a while because that triggered an Inhumans event.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on here, and I haven't even really jumped into the free play mode all that much. Mostly, I normally wait until I finish the story and then I start going back and unlocking characters. But you get plenty of playtime out of the campaign by itself.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised, really, just how meaty that campaign is. And I'll be honest, once that thing of that, to me, this campaign is almost it would justify the cost of the purchase anyway, because even if I never even did all the other stuff, because it's a decently length campaign. I mean, I think, the discussions we've had about Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Call of Duty's 1 and all this kind of thing, Lego are like beating it like hands down in terms of, and it's not necessarily just length means more, but it's just a good story. It works very well. There's lots of humor in it, and just as a whole, I think if you like Lego games, this is the best Lego game they've made. It's like you say, all the little tweaks they've been making along the years. I mean, we've had 70 odd Lego games now. They are tweaking them each time, and this is the best Lego game right now to play. It's a lot of fun. This is really. You can't really say much more than that. If you like Lego games, you're going to like this one. If you've played more Lego games in the past and you're a bit iffy on them, it's probably not the game for you.
Yeah, there's nothing here that's going to make you suddenly like Lego games if you don't like Lego games.
No.
But if you do like Lego games, there's plenty here to enjoy. I did get in a discussion with one person who's like, "Oh, I'm not going to play this because it's the Marvel characters." I'm like, "Well, I can't help you." But, he really wanted a Justice League game. I'm like, "Well, yeah, it's called Lego Batman 3."
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I can understand from the point of view of, they got this big movie out to try and tie it in. It would have made sense, but then I think between Lego Batman 3 and then also Lego Dimensions had a lot of DC content in it.
It did.
Whereas Marvel, we haven't had anything since Lego Marvel Avengers, which was, 2013? So
was it that long ago?
I don't know. It's been a few years since it might have even been 2015, but it's been a few years since the Lego version, and obviously, so that's a bit different. And I think maybe that's where it would have made sense to have done something like a Justice League one. But we all know a Lego movie based on the DC movie franchises will be really good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they already did Lego Batman, so we can expect more. They've got the direct to DVD Lego movies as well.
Yeah. And we had the Lego
Sorry,
Batman game, the story pack.
So
that only came out. I mean, that was only back at the beginning of the year,
right when the movie came out. Yeah.
Yeah. So in some ways, I can see why they were like, no, because you technically that was what if Lego Dimensions hadn't done that would have been a separate game. But
yeah, that was a little bit of a slap in the face. Honestly, that was a terrible pack. But getting off topic.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple of things that annoyed me in this game, though, and they're not technical problems with the game, as near as I can tell. They weren't bugs or whatever.
Yeah.
But first, I found the vehicle physics to be pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the flying vehicles; those were fine.
Yeah.
But I actually got my cars or motorcycles or whatever actually caught on terrain or other cars, which is really
Lego bricks just clung together.
But yeah, I guess there's part of
You went
that.
over a speed bump, it just stick.
Yeah. What was even funnier is you'd get stuck on it, you can't reverse, you can't go forward, and then as you're hitting the throttle, the vehicle's actually overheating and eventually explodes. I'm like, well, what did you expect me to do with this? It's really annoying when it happens in a race.
Yeah.
I had it happen. There was a motorcycle race in the frozen part of Chronopolis, and literally 20 feet from the start line, I got stuck on a snowdrift. Couldn't go in. I was like, this is really annoying. And it happened multiple times.
All right.
So there's something, the ground vehicle physics are a little bit wonky. And then second, especially as I started to get along, I started to find some of the combat to be a little bit tedious. Especially because they started introducing characters where you have to break off pieces of them to fight them. Like a regular dude will come out. He's just a regular henchman, but then he'll have like a gold vest on. So you have to attack him with someone who can break gold. There's one with a red vest. You need a little small character to break. It doesn't add much to the game except going, this means I just need to switch characters. Okay, dealt with that. And then lastly, the supervillain battles, the boss fights just drag on and on and on with very little variety to them. So those are my three main complaints.
Yeah. As far as the combat is very, very similar. You can punch him, kick him, you pick him up, and you hit them and throw him, or you use ranged attacks. It's pretty much your best option. Or you just become Captain Marvel and or Iron Man, just blaze them all with things. The whole idea of jumping between the characters and stuff. There was a few issues I did have. I felt the camera was like there was a bit with Medusa where I had to jump from one platform to another and glide over. I just kept falling off because you couldn't see. It's like trying to keep it to go in a straight line at a wrong angle, but I think it was slightly curved. And it was just like, I couldn't turn the camera to be behind them like you would want them to. So there was a few times of that, but also, yeah, I think the boss battles were a little bit too long in the tooth a few times. It was like, and that's probably again where the time sync come into it, because but there's so many boss battles. I mean, I can't believe how many boss battles there are. It's like, you don't get this very often now, where you have so many boss battles.
Yeah, and I think there's even a couple little levels that are just purely boss battles. Like fairly early on, you'll fight Surtur from Thor, and that's just a boss battle. And then later on, you'll fight in the arena, where it's basically just a long boss battle. And it would be okay if there was like a variety to them, if there were different things to do in them. But it really is just, okay, find the item that's glowing, break the item that's glowing, build the bricks that it creates, that removes their shield, punch them until the shield comes back, find the glowing bit, break it, build it, remove the shield, beat them and there's almost no change to that. I just described like 75% of the boss battles. Yeah,
there was a bit. I remember that there was a bit with that big boss battle with the Thor Ragnarok one, and I remember like building the catapult and putting the water tank on top of the catapult and flinging it up. And then I literally was trying for like 5 minutes of trying to refill the water up. It's like, I can't, like, well, no, I can just throw it straight at him now. I don't need to worry about the catapult. And it was a bit like, well, the catapult is still here, and I couldn't fill it up with water to use it again, because it was that thing of like, the usual hit it 3 times kind of territory that you usually go into with a boss battle, that kind of thing of, just jump on its head 3 times and that's it. But it was like, well, just normally they would have like destroyed it or something to give that indication that, no, that's dead, move on kind of thing. But these are kind of the tweaks, and I don't know. And this is where my other issue with it, and I mentioned it in my written review, was this year they've released Lego Worlds, City Undercover, Lego Ninjago. They released a load of packs and stuff and fun packs and story modes for Lego Dimensions. And now Lego 5. That's 5 games in 1 year that they've been doing. Now I'm going to throw Lego Worlds and throw that one to the side, because in some ways that is at least slightly different in how it's a sandbox game and it's a little bit different. But the other one, and you could say, well, Undercover's a remaster, but having Ninjago and Lego Marvel released within literally 4 weeks of each other. If you've played one, don't play the other, because I think you're going to get bored.
Yeah, and I think it does sound like, from what I've heard, that this is the one of the two to get. Lego Ninjago, not a bad game, but nothing particularly great. And I guess the movie didn't do all that well in theaters either. But yeah, it was a very heavy year for Lego releases. I think Lego Dimensions, of course, contributed a lot to that, because it was just a steady stream, and they wanted freaking $40, $50 for every single one of those story packs, of which there were like 3 or 4 of them. The big ones like Ghostbusters and Batman and Harry Potter. Yeah. And it's like, next year, maybe not so much. Maybe a Star Wars, maybe Lego Batman 4 or Lego Justice League, and maybe a remaster of one of the other ones.
The trouble is, and it's a bit of a thing, I am really looking forward to Star Wars. I'm thinking there will be a Last Jedi one coming in June, because that's what happened with Force Awakens. I am looking forward to that. But I am also in the same thing as well, and I'm reading through a lot of reviews, because I always like to check afterwards of making sure I'm in line with everyone, because as much as you go, this is amazing, or am I just being really grumpy and everybody else is liking it? But there's a lot of feedback from a lot of different, from the 20-30 reviews I read after put mine up, was this is getting old. This is getting, this cycle, you're still playing the same Lego game that we were playing on the PlayStation 2. You're tweaking it and they're making it better, but the core gameplay has stayed the same. for so long, because I think, in all honesty, they're on just churn. They've got a system, it's working, and they're just gonna, and it's like, well, it's for kids and it's fine. But I really hope that they kind of maybe slide it back a little bit and start thinking maybe we need to start developing a brand new engine, because okay, I mean, you could say, well, the kids are getting, the new generation every few years playing the games, but I'm noticing from like the adult's point of view that people are like getting a little bit like, this is the same game, and things are moving so fast everywhere else that this isn't really offering anything new.
Yeah, collect the red bricks, collect the gold bricks, collect as many studs as you can, get the stud multiplier, get the mini kits, unlock the characters, etc. Now, there's a ton of characters to unlock. Yeah. It'll keep you busy for a while, but yeah, you can see the formula. The formula hasn't changed for a long time. They might tweak individual bits, like the red bricks are now pink bricks because they're managed by Gwenpool, but it's still the same thing.
Yeah.
And we're getting very much into Telltale Games territory here, which is, it's cool. You've got your system, but yeah, you need to do something new to kind of keep it fresh. Yeah. Now, they probably got at least another 1 or 2 games out of this system before people are really like, no, seriously, we need something new. But
yeah, it's that thing of, if you enjoy Lego games, then there is nothing wrong with it. And I'm going to be. I feel that this is a very good game. It is very good, and these kind of criticisms are a little bit along the lines of, it's great, but it's being, in some ways, that's actually knocking it down a little bit because it's getting too samey. And I think, there are certain elements that they took from like Lego Dimensions, like there's battle play now, so you can play local co-op.
Although that was...
Single player is awful, it's just not fun. And if you pick the wrong character, you can't win, basically. If you've got a really strong fighting character like the Hulk or someone like that, you just can't compete with, because if you're trying to blast them with missiles, you can't lock on because they're running around and they've already hit you. It's because obviously as well, they're a lot smarter than those little people running around.
Yeah. So, the battle mode, if you can't play it with somebody, it's not even worth jumping into.
I do think it's a good thing for, especially for kids playing together, and just wanting to beat each other up in a game.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a fun little addition. I think it's a good add-on, but that is certainly a cool thing. And like I said, in some ways, it feels like, is it being negative? But it's like, I like this game. I think it's really good, and it's it's probably the best Lego game been released. But I'm like, there's too much familiar. There's too much of the same. It needs, move things around a little bit. Change up the model a little bit more. They're getting a little bit, I would almost say, like you say, clinging to that concept of what they've been doing and what it's working. And they just want to ride that train all the way to Funky Town.
It's time for them to update the formula a little bit. And that said, just like you said, this is still a great game. I still heartily recommend it. I know in the UK the Switch version isn't available, but I would say for most people, if given the choice and you have multiple consoles or PCs to choose from, the PC version is probably going to be the best in terms of price because it's $20 cheaper than everything else. But the Switch is the way to play this because that portability just helps so much.
Also, price-wise, I mean, this game kind of dropped in price literally like before launch. I mean, it was like £35 already on most of the retailers. So that's definitely, and also the DLC with like Ant-Man and the Wasp, Infinity War, and Black Panther means we're going to be getting level packs next year. So this game's actually going to be, and that season passes, I still think is fantastically good value. This game is going to be something that I'm going to be jumping back into continuously going on. So that is kind of going to be a cool thing for it. Like I said, I would have got it on Switch had it not been, if it had been released on the same day. As unfortunately in that situation, I couldn't really wait 2 weeks. 2-3 weeks for a brand new game, not to kind of get in on it.
Yeah, honestly, for me, it just ended up being the fact that it was more than $20 cheaper for me to get it on the PC than the Switch. But you know what? I'm going to keep my eye out for it, and when it does hit maybe $20 on the Switch, I'm going to pick it up again. And let's be honest, Lego games drop in price very quickly. I know we already talked about Lego Ninjago, and it didn't do very well, so it's probably not the best one to use. But it's already at $20.
Yeah, there's a lot of Black Deaths Friday, and I think, to be honest, I think Lego Marvel is going to be a great addition for the Switch for that audience. If you're on Xbox and you need a kids game, this is the one to get. This is probably one of the better ones to pick up if you've got smaller ones. The Switch has just got so much available at the minute. It's a very solid Lego game. And if you're going to get one Lego game this year, this would be the one I'd recommend.
Agreed. This is the Lego game. It certainly beats out Ninjago. It beats out the re-releases, and I mean Dimensions. Well, Dimensions you can get for super cheap now because it's dying.
It's so nice not to have to worry about little toys and moving them around and having box fulls of rubbish hanging around that you don't use.
Yeah,
and there is a little thing I want to just bring up, because I wrote it in a review, and I've seen so many people. There's no X-Men and there's no Fantastic Four. There's like 250 characters. You've got hundreds of them, and there is ones there that act exactly the same. Don't let that kind of just not let you pick it up because it hasn't got Wolverine. And no one really cares about Mr. Fantastic. But there are 250 odd characters. You can go into the custom creator and make him if you really want to play that character that much.
I will say, I think that it is a legitimate concern for people if your favorite characters are Wolverine or Cyclops or Gambit or Cable or whoever, Deadpool, who's been replaced with Gwenpool. It is a legitimate concern. It doesn't negatively impact the game because, obviously, as you said, there are other characters who fill the roles, but Marvel and Fox, I really hope that the deal they're talking about comes through, because this is ridiculous. People love the X-Men characters, and they should be in the games, and the fact that they're not is really just stupid. It's two companies having a pissing contest, and just get over it, guys.
It's the only thing, like I said, the reason I said that was I read that a few times, and I was like, that's not, in my view, this, having played the game and really enjoying it, it's like, it's that kind of thing of, I would not say this is a reason not to pick that game up, because there is so much content in it, and it's a really good Lego game, and it's for kids, and they will love it.
Honestly, if you're thinking, I'm going to boycott it because the X-Men aren't in it, I appreciate the sentiment. I'm sure that the X-Men writers appreciate the sentiment. It will do absolutely nothing. Yeah. Absolutely not. All you're doing is depriving yourself from a Lego Marvel game. Yeah. So,
on that note, definitely recommend picking this one up. James, where can they find you?
Find me heroiclegacy.com.
And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching or listening. Be sure to check us out over at DisKingdom.com, and we shall see you guys soon. Later.